Hi, and welcome to the Sunday morning service at First United Spiritualist Church. I will be your host, Raphael, and I'm really happy to have Parneet come back today for Sunday service. I'll introduce Parneet a bit later. I'll start with an opening prayer to get us all into condition. So if you want to join me in prayer, dear beloved God, beloved Creator, dear friend, we turn towards you today, our hearts open, all smile as we celebrate a beautiful fall day in your company, in the spirit of the church, with our spirit friends, our guides, our teachers, which we thank for all their selfless efforts, and we strive to join together and be example today and for the days to come in our lives, spreading love and joy and compassion around us, being blessings in your name. And we love you, we cherish you and our lives that you've given us. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so I'll introduce Parneet. I think you all know Parneet. You have seen her many times. She's a tarot card reader. So if you haven't got a reading from her, I'll highly recommend. She's a great healer. She was clairvoyant at a young age, and she dedicated her life to facilitating the communication with loved ones and bring peace and comfort to families and individuals all over Vancouver. And now with Zoom, she reaches even further. So we're all very happy to have Parneet with us. And now we'll have the 7 principle, but I have to go a little bit offline because I have it on my phone. If you excuse me, I'll just disappear. So here at First United Spiritualist Church, we embrace all the principle of spiritualism. There are 7 of them. And the first one is Fatherhood of God, and then the Brotherhood of Man, and then the communion of spirit with spirits and angel. And followed by the continuous existence of the human soul, the belief in personal responsibility, compensation and retribution hereafter for all the good and evil deeds done on earth. And finally, we believe that eternal progress is open to every human soul. So at the church, we have also embraced a quote that was given to us by Silver Birch, beautiful spirit, was written beautiful channel book. And that was channeled by Maurice Barbnell. And that quote says, we believe in the spirit of life, not in a book, not in a creed, but to the spirit of life and its eternal natural laws. So with that, I'd like to give my love and light to Parneet and see what she's got for us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Raphael. I don't know who Diane is, but, and Susan, I've talked to you briefly, so, oh, there you are, Diane. Are you in the UK as well? Or?
Diane is a dear friend. She lives in North Van.
Oh, it's okay, that's fine. Can't tell these days on Zoom who's from where anymore unless I hear them talk. And I'm very good at picking up accents, obviously, but that's also, that doesn't mean anything. Raphael, I would have thought you were somewhere else. French, maybe. Anyways, Thank you for the introduction. I just, for those of you who don't know me, yes, I have been following a very mediumistic journey for, I would say, I don't even want to count in years. It's been pretty well all my life. As a younger person, I was seeing a lot more spirits and having some very interesting experiences, which I couldn't explain. And then, eventually my life took on many challenges. And through all of that, I, reconnected to my spiritual side because it was important to find some peace and quiet and work on that as part of my life. But, that's a very big part of my life. I love being able to communicate and helping other people, with the communication and giving messages and wherever I can be of service. I still live a pretty normal life though. Other than that, I work, during the week and a lot of things going on. But, when it comes to the spiritual side of me, it doesn't just leave. It's always there. You're using it in day-to-day life, regardless of what you do. So if you have an office job like I do, yes, your mind is taken up by, day-to-day activities, but it's fascinating how when I'm even in the office, I'm still, feeling energies and using my intuition to do the things I want. I've also connected in this particular company with people just, on that spiritual level where we've had some very interesting discussions. It's fascinating how, everybody is pretty open if you can make that connection in the right way. You never come out and say, oh, do you believe in spirits? It's more like it's a very subtle thing that comes along. And I look for the subtleties in life. And so I was, contemplating what should I talk about. I usually pick up a book or read a passage from something, build on that or however it goes. But I think this is a free for all. I think it's more about what I've been sort of experiencing as a real. I'm going to read it because I wrote it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to articulate, I'm sure. But it was an interesting thing that happened. A couple of days ago, I was in the grocery store buying my groceries, and what happened was, I hear it's not mandatory to wear masks or anything like that. In certain establishments, yes, they require it. So I follow the rules. I don't back down on rules, but I normally don't wear a mask day to day because I'm not really in groups of people. I'm usually by myself. I go out quickly, get in and get out kind of thing. So for some reason, I was compelled on this particular day when I went into the grocery store. I was like, yeah, I got to wear my mask. I don't know why, but I got to wear it. Like, not that I was fearful or, oh, I might get something. I'm not like that. If you know me and if you've known me for a few years, you'll know how fearless I am, really. Anyway, so I decided, okay, I'll just wear it. The store wasn't even crowded. It was just normal. And as I'm standing there, I'm going through the checkout. There was a man and a woman behind me, their husband and wife or partners anyways. And I wasn't really paying any attention to them. And then I suppose the husband moved on and he was waiting on the other side of the checkout for his wife. So I paid for my stuff. I'm walking away, but I wasn't looking up. I was kind of looking down. I was looking at my receipt because I'm one of these sticklers where I have to check the receipt, make sure that I got charged the right amount. And if they made a mistake, I'm quick to turn around and say, oh, by the way, you charged me too much for that, right? And so I saw this hand coming out to me as if to take my receipt. And I thought, oh, that's weird. I mean, I'm not in Costco or Walmart for that matter, where they might do a spot check. This is just a man standing there. And I instinctively started doing this. And I'm like, I don't even know why I did that. And then he all of a sudden went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought you were my wife. And we both had a chuckle. We both laughed so hard. It wasn't even funny, but it was just It was just a situation. He wasn't even looking. He was looking down. I was looking down. We could have just about collided, but the point is, he didn't recognize me. And I didn't really recognize him. And it was this barrier on the face. And it was very, very profound to me at that moment why Spirit had to show me that. And it really made me think and feel what is really going on in the world right now. It's maybe very subtle, but it's very important to understand that this is not a debate about wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. And I don't get into that. Everybody has their opinion on that. But it made me see a different side to the whole situation. And this could be ongoing forever, and it has nothing to do with the mask. It's how we don't look at people, how we don't recognize them. We don't ever look into a person's eyes. We don't know who we are, even ourselves. How are we going to recognize the other person? So this mask has brought a whole different, concept on how we're not seeing each other. And what was fascinating was, I normally, and most people, when you're talking to each other, you're not really looking into each other's eyes. You're not really seeing them. You're seeing the superficial face. You're seeing this face. You're looking at the cheeks, or especially women, how's your face looking? Oh, it's so clear. You pick out all of these other aspects of a person that are really trivial, that aren't even important. But you don't ever look into their eyes to see what kind of a person they really are. And I noticed over the summer, I remember going to a restaurant and the server was wearing a mask. Now, if he hadn't been wearing a mask, I would have seen a different side to him. But all I could see was his eyes. And it was just a look that was very interesting. And I said, and if you're even slightly intuitive, you will pick up these things. And I felt this guy is very deceitful. Now, I don't know him, but I felt it. So, the eyes really are the windows to your soul. And yes, everybody says your soul is beautiful, it's perfect, but we have so many aspects to that because our soul carries so much baggage from so many different lifetimes, from learning, experiencing. We've had so many incarnations on earth and we've carried so much. So we're on a constant mission of learning. We're constantly experiencing so many different emotions through each and every lifetime that, yes, we are going to carry that information because that's how we come into this earth. We come in with a lot of information from other lifetimes as well. We're not always, we're born as a baby, but we're carrying information. And as we go through life, we carry our own prejudices, our feelings, our biases, whatever you want to call them. And we use them without even realizing it sometimes that that's who we are. And a lot of people don't really take time to think about that either. They don't really think about how they react to things or what they say. Or I had a very interesting conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about, how has this whole situation since the beginning of April affected people? Yes, I mean, it's affected a lot of people in very many different ways. Some have actually done better as a result. Some have lost everything. The emotions are all over the place. I've noticed as an empath, I'm picking up more, sorrow, and that's that kind of energy, and it drains me. I know when I'm extremely tired some days, and I don't even know why. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling the weight of the world. That's how it feels. I'm feeling the weight of the world, and it's bringing me down. But then I do my own, okay, it's not me, clear it out, that sort of thing. And, you know, I'm also made a comment to her that in the beginning of, you know, around April, I would say I had written a whole download, I would call it a channeled information about how when everything was so quiet and we were really literally, the stores were closed, some of the businesses hadn't reopened, so people were working from home, how peaceful and quiet it felt, how clean the air had become, and how nature was thriving and it was beautiful out there. And I noticed when I walked out, there was a vibrancy in the air that I had never seen before. And if you looked at the reports from all over the world, they're remarking on how the pollution level had dropped in some of the major cities. And it was heartwarming to see that we are the pollutants. We are the pollutants. And nature was thriving because we weren't out there polluting it constantly every second of the day. But hey, not all good things must come to an end, as they say. We started getting back out there. We started doing things. The traffic went up, the pollution went up. You know, we started getting back to a semi-normal. And again, this wave and whatever you want to call it, it's all a part of history, part of nature. You know, it's one of those situations that had to come at this particular time. And I always say this, and I've said this in other services, we as spirit chose to be here at this time, this place. Our spirit, when we came into this world, knew this was going to happen. So we were supposed to live through this particular age. Just like if we lived through a last pandemic, we had come into that time, 1918, for the same reason. Or if we lived through a war, we had come in to experience that war. So our soul is constantly going through these sessions, you know. We come in, we go, okay, well, we're going to live through this time. We're going to have this, you know, body. We're going to experience this set of lessons. Where are we going to fit in? Are we going to be at war or are we going to be at home? This and that. So I'm perfectly fine with this because I know I chose to be here. I chose to experience what's going on in the world right now. And yes, it's catastrophic on many economic levels. But at the same time, you know, on a personal level, what have we done to improve our lives? We've been given an opportunity to really sit back and think now, really, because in the beginning, there was no place to go. Where would you go? Normally you would be out and out driving. Let's go shopping. Let's go visit friends. Let's do this. Let's do that. Keep yourself occupied all the time without having to really think about, you know, what it is you're doing. And is it really that important? I know personally speaking, I've been self-reflective. I always have been. So that's, you know, it wasn't anything new for me. I enjoy peace. I enjoy the quiet. I don't really like being in crowds. So to me, it was almost like, thank God I don't really have to go out and be in crowds. And I don't have to do a lot of expectations that people want you to do. I had surrounded myself with a lot of, you know, activities that were just basically, I'm going to say, to kill time. Really, that's all it was. They weren't very meaningful, but they were, okay, I'll get out of the house. I will go out and hang out with a group of people that I realized after, you know, a few times being with them, I didn't really like them that much, but, you know, you're in a group setting, you just kind of go with the flow. And then when this lockdown happened, I was going, oh, thank God, I don't have to see any of them. You know, so it's all about perspective. It's about how you see your life. It's about, you know, it's not the end of the world. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. So, you know, all I can say is really have a relook at what is going on in your life. What is it that you need to change? What can you do to improve your circumstance? I found Zoom as As Raphael would say, it opened up a whole world for me that I would not have experienced before, because I was always shunning, oh, I don't want to be online. I'd rather be around people. And yes, I miss our church, Raphael, very much. It's such a sacred place. It was beautiful energy there. And, you know, if hopefully we can one day do that again soon. But in the meantime, at least we have this, and we've been able to bring in people from all over the world, which is amazing. So this is where I have reconnected with people that I hadn't connected with in a long time through online platforms. So I think that there's always a positive if you can find that positive, or you look for that positive. You know, don't look at things on the negative side. Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. You can do a lot more. You can do a lot more than you think you can. And that's what keeps me going. Now, the other big factor in all of this is it's not about doing more. It's about also doing less. Maybe you're overworked. Maybe you're doing too much of something and it's burning you out. So use this time to say, keep a balance. What's important, what's not important. It's okay to stay home and not do anything sometimes. I like to just sit at home, watch TV, and I'm okay with that. And also your friendships, people that you associate with, are they really that good for you in your life? Or have you just made excuses for them? I know I recently broke up a friendship, which I didn't really consider a friendship, but it was very toxic. But I put it aside because I don't have to see this person. She lives in another country, but it still was a toxic relationship. So these are the kinds of things that I have changed in my life. I choose to surround myself with positive people. I choose to surround myself with positive experiences. I choose the positive, not the negative. I don't ever allow negativity to enter my life. And when it does, I recognize it. And I work through it. There are some situations you can't avoid, unfortunately, but it's how you deal with it. And getting back to my earlier point about how we don't, like I said, this situation at the supermarket really got me on this tangent of, you know, why aren't we really looking at people? Why aren't we really seeing them for who they are? You know, now's the time. I think now if you actually are out and about and you see people, even your friends, your family, and you have to look into their eyes, you really see the truth. You see who they really are. And you recognize them. You'll recognize that person from a million miles away because you recognize their soul. You're connected on that soul level. The body is just a body. This is how you choose better relationships, better friendships. All of these things come from really looking into the soul of a person. As they say, the eyes are the windows of the soul. And now more than ever, you've been given that opportunity through the use of wearing masks. Amazing, isn't it? But now I have to look at people's eyes because I can't look at anything else. And we're communicating on that level. So really use this as a way of even training yourself to recognize what's good, who's good, because you will see a whole different perspective when you look at somebody now. I met up with my friend yesterday and she said, I don't even wear makeup anymore. I don't need to. No one's going to look at your face anyways. I said, isn't that great that you don't have to worry about wearing a whole, it's going to change the shape of beauty. I'm telling you, it's going to change the shape of what we think is beautiful. And it's interesting to see when especially when you're on Zoom and watching some of these, even the celebrities, it's a whole different appearance now. And I'm kind of glad for that because we are a very superficial society. I really think that we should, start looking at our inner beauty, not our outer beauty. And if anything, this may be an opportunity to do just that. Because this pandemic is what it is. It's not going away anytime soon. And it might be here for, I couldn't tell you, however long it takes. We'll get through it. But in the meantime, really try to focus on the positives of your life and where the changes need to be made. Because if you don't address those now, you may not have a chance later. So the world is changing. We can see that. We can see the way countries are run, how a lot of the things are coming out of the woodwork. We're in for a different time now. So we need to really focus on our own spirit, our own energy, on what we want to achieve in this lifetime, what we want to learn from it. And so now that you have the time, because you're forced to, take that as a time of learning more than anything. I think spiritual people all over the world are really, seeing it, and they're working on it. And this is our opportunity to help others that aren't. So I'd like to leave you with that. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Parneet. Yeah, I agree with what you say. Simplicity in our lives, that's a key. That's the more simple the lives, the more able we are to control or make changes, right? Mm-hmm. So are you part of that psychic fair, that virtual psychic fair on the 31st? Can you tell us more about how is this all going to play out?
Oh, yes. Okay. So it's our first ever virtual psychic fair because, of course, our doors are closed. So it's going to be from 10:30 to 4:30. There's 7 of us readers, and it'll all be handled through the FUSC website. So the readings will be 15 minutes and 30 minutes in duration. So 15 minutes is $25 and 30 minutes is $45. We would like to have people pre-book, and then you can send your e-transfer or PayPal payments directly to the church. And so we've been advertising it obviously on our Facebook page, and it's better to pre-book as soon as possible because we're trying to not have too many people trying to come in on the day off, because it's harder for the bookkeeping. But yeah, it should be interesting. We are doing this to obviously raise donations for our church, and getting to that, we really appreciate donations to the church in general. Every little bit helps. If you can put in $5-10, and it goes a long way. We are definitely a volunteer-driven church. We are not for profit. So everything we're doing on Zoom is because we love our church. We love communicating. We want to keep all of this going, but we still have a building to maintain. We still have to pay for it. We still have to pay the utilities, all of those things. Even though we're not using it, the bills don't go away, unfortunately, right, Raphael?
Yeah, I know. I've been looking at that. So you can pretty much
we are having our general meeting tomorrow, so we will be talking more about what. Yeah. And this was something that we talked about last month. Yeah. About let's start doing virtual events. Yeah. To raise money.
Wow, that's going to be a big volume, right? Can you imagine 15 minutes from 10:30 to 4:30? So I hope it's a big volume, but I think it's a great way of getting involved. Yeah. I'm certainly going to get a reading, so
yeah, so
it's going to be exciting.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
And you can do it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere.
Is it on the First Spiritualist Church Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to the Facebook page, you'll see the details and how to book and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's in the events section for sure. So yeah.
Thanks,
So I'm just
Roxanne.
going to go to the calendar quickly. So tomorrow, you already mentioned, we have our general business meeting, 7:30 p.m. Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Healing service will be with Lynn Marie. 8:30, we have a development circle with Lynn White. On Thursday, we have Divine Love Prayer Circle. And then next Sunday service, in the morning, we have Alan Holmes. In the evening, we have Melba Carlson. And of course, at the end of the month, we have our Crystal Light Psychic and Wellness Fair, 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. That's the 31st, Saturday, 31st of October. And the day before, we have the return of Greetings from Spirit, again on Zoom. So same principle with Ellen Somerville. So this one, I think it works a little bit like the Psychic Fair. It's one medium give messages for the night, and you kind of have like a small fee. All right, so do I see our eminence? We have the Prince of Egypt online.
Cool, Pharaoh.
Hello.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Can you say
that is
something,
too funny.
Harbinder?
Aren't you a little bit early for Halloween?
Hello. I don't know what
I'm
to say.
pleased to be here.
We don't have celebrities every day, but
I'm not going to be able to shake that visual.
Wait, you got to see this too.
Oh yeah, perfect.
All right. So we're glad to have you here, and please don't forget to donate some gold. All right. So we'll do a guided meditation now. So I invite everybody to just turn down the light if you can, be comfortable, play some soft music if you want it. Yes, so it helps to be at home for that.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Creator, beloved God, please make yourself aware of your presence in the hearts of our souls. And I invite you now to visualize a summer day as we are seated on the most comfortable moss in the forest, nature around us, the spaciousness, the beautiful vibrations of the trees. As we're going deeper with the breath, becoming aware of our body, how dense our envelope is, focusing now on the space around us, the space within us, the space inside our cell. Bringing lightness into ourselves. And we imagine now roots coming from our feet into the ground, digging through the soil, and deeper still until it reaches the center of the earth. And you might visualize our Mother Earth, Gaia. You might see a crystal, a molten core, a great light. Send your love into the ground. and becoming aware of the love coming back to you. Maybe through the roots, through your feet, up into your body. As you make that connection with your mother, earthly mother, which is in need of healing now. Now you turn your attention to the sky, the bright sun, shining forth its warmth in your face, beautiful rays of light. And we connect now to that sun, and maybe that central sun, fountainhead of God's love, the source of all light in the universe. You might see a sun bigger than most, 1,000, 1,000,000 times bigger than our sun. And you send your love and you're breathing the love of your Creator from God. As you bring that divine love into your heart, into your soul, it ignites a spark of the divine into your chest, and you might see your own light, a little ball of light, sparks, beautiful crystal light, and see how it feels. For this is your essence. So now, with a wheel of intention, you step in your inner light, dropping your consciousness in your heart space. And as you feel the love, I ask you to visualize the sanctuary of your being. How does it look like? Are you getting any visuals? Maybe you can take a walk in your heart space. Is there anybody here? How does it feel? And now, if you have a question for your soul, maybe you want to ask your soul what it wants you to know. What guidance does it have for you? Now we bring one last time this love of God into our soul, igniting more love, nurturing love all around us from inside. And now we bask into this love. We are getting nourishment for the soul, upliftment for our being. And we remember the promise we've made on our spiritual path, trying to uphold positivity in our life, moving forward to get closer to God. We thank everybody, our spirit friends, our Creator, for facilitating this time together. Amen. So with each breath in, you come back into your body a little bit more. Until you are fully present with us. So that was, I hope, the Egyptian
He's happy.
He's approving of it, so that's good. All right, so I'll leave Parneet to continue this little journey together, and so send your love and light.
So to get started, I will either come to you if I feel drawn to you, or I will bring whoever comes up, and please just listen in. And if you can relate to any of that, just wave your hand so that I can see that there might be a connection. If there's some part of the message that makes sense to you, so that I can either build on that connection or no, it's not for you, that sort of thing. It's interesting through Zoom, it's a very different way of communicating. So it's changed. If you were all in the same room, the energy would be different, but it's still an energy. So there is something there, but it's just a different way of connecting now. So while I was doing the meditation, or I was in that quiet space, I saw a lady, and she was showing me herself maybe at a much younger time. And it felt like a really nice summer, and she was wearing this big hat. It was just like and you couldn't see her face. It was interesting. You couldn't see her face. I just saw the hat from the back. It was one of those rounded at the back with a huge brim. And she comes through as someone that just loved being outside. I saw nature, you know, and just this carefree kind of a feeling about her. And as I connect more, I feel like it's either mom or grandmother that's coming through this way. So I'm just going to follow that through, because she's showing me herself at a young age. So, you know, and as I'm talking more, I feel like I'm being drawn to you, Susan. I don't know why. Just I'm going to, if you
I
could
thought
turn
so
on your,
with the big hat.
I'm sorry?
I thought so with the big hat. Yeah.
Okay, so that you recognize that?
I've got the picture of her wearing the big hat, and you can't see her face.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Susan. So is that your mom or grandmother?
Grandmother.
Grandmother, okay, because I was feeling it was either or. Okay, that's interesting, because I'm feeling with her, there was a lot of sickness. I just feel sickness when she passed. I don't know if it was in the stomach or this below area. Was there something going on there at all?
I don't know how she passed.
Oh, you don't?
I
Okay.
wasn't very well, and then she passed.
Okay. Okay. So I feel like there was a lot of something going on. I don't know if it was a condition, or almost feels like it could have been cancerous. I don't know. I just get this feeling it was just not a very pleasant feeling, because I feel her energy, or the way she was feeling towards the end, it was almost feeling nausea, you know?
Yeah, I've had her say that before.
Okay.
Through spirit. Yeah, she's come through. I know that her energy dropped and she was nauseous.
Okay. All right, good. Then we've definitely established the link. So thank you for that. But she had a very gentle nature. She had a very gentle nature about her. And, you know, I want to say you are a lot like her. You're a lot like your grandmother. You have a very gentle nature yourself. And I feel like you keep a lot of emotions stuck inside of you. You keep a lot inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's coming through with that energy of, I want to say something else here. Hold on a second. I'm getting a lot of pink color, pink. And I feel like she's sending you a lot of pink. I don't know if is that a color that you like, or I just see a lot of pink.
I have a pink bedroom and I took a picture of a pink rose through the...
All right, so pink is definitely your color.
Yeah.
Because I do see colors in my visions, so I have to kind of go, okay, why I'm seeing so much pink here. And so that relates to you definitely. I'm getting the letter P as well. I don't know if that was a letter in your grandmother's name, but I feel like there's a letter P somewhere associated with her. Do you know what was her name? What? Okay.
Sissy or Sarah.
Okay, so I was seeing like a name like Peggy. I don't know, Peg or Peggy, but I could be wrong. So that's okay. If that makes any sense to you, I don't know why the letter P is showing up. Do you have a sister?
No, I don't.
Okay. We might be going in a different tangent here. I just felt like P for some reason, but that's okay. It might make sense later. All right. So she's definitely, you know, and you said you had a picture of her. That's interesting, because that's what I was seeing was a picture, and I'm not seeing her face. So that's very interesting that I was able to see that. Thank you so much for that.
She's out in a park.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a park. It's outside, and you know, it's almost like, I want to say it like this. I feel like it's like she didn't want to be seen, not just then, but she didn't want to be seen. She liked her space. She liked her quiet. She didn't really want to be always looking or having been looked at. That's the energy I'm getting. I don't know what that means, but just she was more reserved, I would say, that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
She would,
You're a little bit reserved yourself. You're a little bit reserved yourself. You are getting out and doing things, but you like your space. You like your peace and quiet. You don't need to be in a lot of different, you know, you don't like to have a lot of people around you all the time.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why your grandmother's energy is really coming through. So let's see what she has to say. She says, you know, she's by your side. She knows this is a troubling time, not just for you, for everybody. But she says, just focus on what you're doing. Just focus on what you're doing. It's very important. It's healing for you, but it'll also help you heal others in ways that you don't realize. So what you were talking about earlier about the pictures that you're taking, all of these things, share them. Share them, because I feel like it's going to really help others. And you're not alone in this journey. You have a lot of help around you. You have a lot of love coming from the other side for you. and they're lifting you up, and I know you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to send a blessing from your grandmother to you, and she says, just keep on going, keep on trucking.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Lovely. All right, so let's see what else I'm getting here now. Can anybody relate to, okay, so I was saying Peggy, but now I'm flipping, I'm going into a Peter, like a P name. Is there anybody that can take the name Peter in spirit, or just Peter in general? Okay, Kevin, or Ken, sorry, I knew it was in there somewhere. Okay, Peter, all right, I think I was making that connection with you.
Okay, thanks.
I'm feeling, now I don't know if this Peter was the one that's coming through as far as that, but there's a connection. I'm feeling a father or grandfather coming through in spirit. I don't know if I've given you this. I know I've given you a message before, but I'm not really sure. And I'm, just to help me out, is Peter in spirit or is he alive?
I'm not sure, to be very, very honest.
Oh.
It's a number of years ago.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay. Is this a friend or
it would have been a friend, yes.
Okay, because
friend,
I wasn't getting a family connection. That's why I was going, okay, somebody's coming through, but it doesn't feel like him or a relationship. But I feel either father or grandfather is coming through. You have dad in spirit.
Yes.
Okay. And I feel like that there's a link. So let's get to see why this Peter is coming up in this whole situation.
Yes, there is a link. There is a link between
there
my
is.
father
Okay,
and
perfect.
Peter.
And your granddad would have, or your father would have known this person?
He would have known his father.
Okay, thank you. This is going to be a nice little mystery here. Love it. Okay. On that note, I'm gonna work with this. So you haven't seen Peter in a number of years, so you don't know if anything about his condition.
That's
where
correct.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, I feel like he's in spirit. I feel like he's in spirit. Give me 1 second here because I'm getting this information here. It was almost like he slipped out and we didn't know where he was, what he was doing. You know, I'm getting that information. I know you lost contact with him, but it feels like there was an estrangement with him and his family. There was you don't know any of this.
Again, it was, we both moved out of town,
Okay,
so
you wouldn't have any of this information.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll muddle through that because I feel like, there's this, I almost feel like there's a wanting to have a closure. And it's, do you have any contact with his family at all?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm consciously aware of. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we've got very little to work with, but we'll see what's coming here. I do a lot of this, I'm going to say finding lost people kind of thing. So let's see where we can go with this because it's definitely a challenge for even me right now. So now let's get back to your dad there. Did he have any breathing issues? Because I'm feeling breathing or something to do with chest and lungs. I don't know. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, for my father, yes.
For your father? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right, because I want to make sure that I still have your dad here because I want to work with him on this. And I feel this connection with this friend of yours. I know it's been a number of years and you haven't really connected with him, so you're not sure about his whereabouts, all of those things. But I feel like and even though you can't confirm this, I'm feeling that he was, over the last few years, not in a good place. I don't feel like he was healthy.
Okay.
There was some family issues going on that didn't really get resolved, I would say. And I'm going to say I felt there might have been heart issues with him, if anything. I don't know if you can find out this information or you may come across it.
I think the best I could probably do is I may come across it.
Yeah.
At some
And you
point.
may come across it because obviously there's something coming through here for that. And, you know, I'm not getting it, honestly, I feel like he's a spirit, but I'm not also getting a very clear answer on that. But I feel like he's not, if he isn't, he's on the brink. That's where I'm feeling with him. It's not that he may be crossing over, but he's at some end because I feel like there's definitely some health issues going on with him. And so I don't know if you will be able to make that connection with him at this time, but I know that your dad's kind of, your dad's also saying, maybe it's time to find out.
Well, maybe, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say it like that. Maybe it's time to find out.
Yeah.
You know, maybe get in touch or find out what happened to him, because I feel like there needs to be some kind of a like ending to this.
Okay.
Whether you have the last word with him or you find out where he's at, it would be almost like a closure for you, because I think you've often wondered what happened to him.
I think going back to maybe the 1970s, the last time I heard he'd gone to live in the Middle East.
Oh, lovely.
With an oil company, maybe in Saudi.
Yeah.
Or Iran, somewhere like that. So
I think he ended up back here. I don't feel like he was in another country after that. Well, if he worked far away, I feel like he did come back.
Did work with an oil company.
I'm sorry?
He did work for an oil company, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was many years ago. So I think
that was the last time.
A very long time ago. But I feel like he ended up coming back to England because I felt his energy more in England. So I feel like he's there, or he was there towards the last part of his life. So I feel like you may still be able to find out a little bit about him.
Okay.
So lots of love from your dad, but it's more to do with Peter at this time. So I'm going to leave that with you. And I would be very curious to know, once you do find out, you can get a hold of me through this, obviously through the FUSC page, you know, or through Facebook, or next time we meet up on this, it would be nice to know if you did, just out of curiosity. Because sometimes, you know, you get this information and you don't know where it goes afterwards.
No, it's such a long time ago.
And until somebody tells you, you don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave that with you. I think it's a little bit of a puzzle, but I felt like I had to at least get that out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. How are we doing? I think I'm going to, what time is it anyways? Oh yeah, I've got a few minutes. So let me see if something else comes through here. I just want to make a comment really about Harbinder here and his outfit. Your true inner pharaoh is coming out. I'm sorry, I just cannot get over it. You're very distracting to me right now. But hey, you know what? You write it well. No, you write it well. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm connecting now on that note. I am connecting with male energy. I feel, oh yes. Could have been a stroke, heart attack, stroke. I want to say dad, but felt like a father, felt like a father. I'm not really sure about that. Just bear with me here. I also feel with this gentleman that he was in distress. I feel a lot of, I'm going to say, either confusion or anguish. There might have been, that sort of gives me a sign that could have been dementia related to this. And I still want to say, I think I'm with you, Harbinder. I'm just feeling that, yes, I am with you. Okay. There was a reason I couldn't get you out of my head. Is that dad for you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I was getting dad, getting all of that. And I know I've given you messages from him before. I'm sure of it. Because I know I've given you messages before. I'm going to say that I feel that it's something that, you're working through yourself. Something you're working through yourself. There's, distress is how to really keep yourself calm, how to keep yourself grounded, and doing whatever it takes to keep that state, to keep that from consuming you, I want to say.
Yes.
About finding peace and living out your inner child, all of those things. So quickly, I just want to say, you know what? You're doing a good job of it, but it's about just knowing that sometimes you can't really get rid of things, but you can learn to live with them and accept them for what they are, and especially people around you. You can't change things, but you can accept them for who they are and see them that way so that you do not get distressed by them or their actions. Sometimes it's about acceptance. You can't change people. You just have to accept them for the way they are.
Yes.
So that's really the journey here. We all have to deal with people. We know there's things wrong. We know that they need help, but we can't always fix it. But we just send them a lot of love and light.
Yeah, love.
That's it.
Yes. Yeah,
I know you're full of that, so that's good. So keep sending that to them and yourself, and don't bear the burden.
That's why I'm dressed up.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I think I'm quite done now.
All right, thank you so much, Parneet. That was a good session. I really enjoyed it. And thank you, Harbinder, for entertaining us. So yeah, with this, we'll conclude with our closing prayer. So please join. Oh, you're doing the closing prayer.
I'm doing the closing. Well, yeah. Now that I have to think about it. Okay, yes, I am doing the closing prayer. We give thanks. We give thanks to all that's attended here. And we thank you for coming and joining and listening to all of us, not just myself, because we are all here to learn, to grow and develop, to take in the information that helps us set our course in life. And whatever little information that makes sense or resonates with us is what is needed. Just a little bit, just to make that one little change or that make a difference in somebody's life, including our own. So we all give thanks. We are all in this journey together. We all believe, we all have faith. And we look forward to the future with that hope and certainty that all will be well. So with that, go about into your world, accept that things are the way they are, but nothing is ever forever. Everything changes, and it can change in the blink of an eye. So always go in with positive thoughts and attitudes so that you can weather any storm that comes your way. Amen.
Amen. So thank you, Parneet, again, and thank you everyone for being there with us today. So have a great week. See you at our next event, and so bye-bye.
Blessings of love and light to all of you and your
Thank you very
family,
much.
and be
Welcome.
kind
Fun.
and loving to yourself.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Parneet,
Bye.
do you want me to see if I can find my grandmother's photograph that you
Yes,
saw?
please.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.